Oh, good morning. So for the next few blogs, I'm going to take a look at Gary Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages. Some of you are familiar with that. It's written 31 years ago. The 5 Love Languages, How to Express Heartfelt Commitment to Your Mate. And I think it's helpful for anybody in a committed relationship. And he believes that we tend to share and receive love in sort of 5 major ways, all right? And we use them all, but the traffic seems to be heavier at 1 or 2 than the others. And he likens them, the different ways of sharing and receiving love, to languages. So for example, if I'm speaking English and your native language is French or Spanish or Italian or German, it makes it harder to communicate. It's not impossible, but it makes it harder. So the 5 love languages he identifies are physical touch, acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, and receiving gifts. Now, if a couple doesn't really understand their partner's primary love language, they might be miscommunicating, all right? And it certainly makes it more difficult to communicate effectively. And I had a great example of this in the office a few weeks ago where the guy, he was busy building a new house for the family. He was renovating the old house so they could sell it, and he was working full time, working his tail off in the way that he knew best how to show his love for his family by acts of service. Guess what her primary love language was? Quality time, you know? And once they better understood their partner's love languages, then they could make adjustments, all right? And obviously she didn't want him to stop doing all he was doing, but she needed some time. And he was very willing to commit to that. So on a temporary basis, he would come home, quit early on the work, and they'd have some time together, even if it was short. But they also realized it was temporary. Once the house was built, the other house was sold, then he was much more aware that her primary love language was quality time. All right? I don't know. I hope that makes sense. But they're speaking different languages. They're showing their love, but they're miscommunicating, or not communicating as well as they really wanted to. So over the next few weeks, I'll dive deeper into each of the 5 love languages, and Chapman starts with words of affirmation. So that's where we'll start. And he quotes Mark Twain, a bit of a tongue-in-cheek, but he says, Mark Twain once said, "I can live for 2 months on a good compliment." So Chapman says, well, you figure that out. 6 compliments a year would keep his love tank full. I don't think most of us could exist on 6 compliments a year, but you get the idea. Okay, so next week we'll start there, looking at the first of the 5 love languages, words of affirmation. Okay, have a great week. Cheers.